what are you going to see and what are you actually going to come across this week, right at the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Capricornians? It's really going to surprise you. Not exactly what are you going to see and what are you come across, but the reason why you're going to feel surprised is because that particular situation, it's actually going to remind you of something really specific and really significant you've been through within the last months, but you did not realize how significant this is. This is on one hand going to remind you of an important experience you've been through within the last months. Okay, within the last months is to do with an important experience that you've been through. It's not only going to remind you of this, but it's also going to pretty much so play an important role when it comes to you understanding exactly how important this is for you. This in itself is going to be super positive experience, which is going to make a huge impact onto your life, because you're going to be left with absolutely no option but to actually follow some kind of possibility here, because this is a lot to do with something being singled out as a certain choice, as a certain option, as a certain possibility in your life that you most certainly need to take on as soon as you possibly can, because this is something that put you off previously only because it's like so much to do, only because certain things are going to be prolonged, and only because maybe subconsciously this scared you a little bit because of the hard work being connected to it. But it's not really hard work when it comes to something that you desire. It's not really hard work when it comes to something that you feel so passionate about. It's not really hard work when it comes to something that is pretty much so connected to your destiny. So there is a specific reason why this is happening and why you are being reminded of this at this stage of your specific spiritual journey, because this is an important part of who you are, who you need to become, and the destination that you need to get to, also known as your destiny. And this, my gorgeous Capricornius, is going to be repeating and repeating and repeating until you understand the importance of incorporating this into your life immediately by giving it actually full power, in terms of, like, you know what I mean, when it comes to things that you are responsible for, in terms of your responsibilities, this is indeed going to require a certain adjustment to be made. But all you need to do is number one, follow your passion, and number two, just pay attention to the actual priorities. I know I've been talking about priorities for such a long time, but by paying attention to your priorities, you are really pretty much so paying attention to the right things, because they are changing every single step of the way. We are changing, we are growing, and we are evolving. What am I trying to say here, my gorgeous Capricornius? The bottom line is that you are going to have a mind-blowing experience at the beginning of this week, which is going to remind you of something else that happened to you within the last month, something so important, and you understood then and there that there is some kind of opportunity for you, that you need to go for it. But it wasn't the right time, and it needed to pass like about a month, like I would say a roughly month, in order for you to reflect. Only after this week you're gonna realize, slowly but surely, it's gonna come to you, it's gonna start coming to you, the certain things that you've learned within the last month without even you realizing that you were actually learning them. You were just part of the certain situations, and you managed to absorb so much in without even realizing. So now that is going to start to come out in a very beautiful and subtle way within the next month or so. So this is why this is an important stage of your spiritual journey, my gorgeous Capricornius. This in itself, it's going to be a very positive experience, which is going to highlight that particular opportunity. It's going to highlight this again. And this is going to be keep on coming back into your life because it's the part of your destiny. As I said, this is a lot to do with the hard work, but then again, it's more about your productivity, it's more about having a routine, it's more about you being efficient, and it's more about you just understanding that this is your responsibility. You need to really be like so kind of adamant at this stage of your life, because this is gonna lead, listen to me carefully, I hope this is not too confusing. That opportunity, that option that you're going to become aware of, listen to me very carefully. This is important when it comes to your destiny, but it's a lot to do. It's a lot to do with your independence as well. It's going to lead towards your own independence, but it's also going to lead towards you understanding clearly who do you need and what do you need to have a clear boundaries with at this stage of your life. And you're also going to need to discuss something with someone. You need to have a conversation. You're gonna need to have a conversation with someone, and you're just gonna need to like be as direct as you possibly can, because the communication is sadly gonna bring some kind of disagreement in between you and somebody else. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, my gorgeous Capricornians, but this disagreement is gonna be absolutely brilliant. And you know why? Because this disagreement is actually going to play a major role. It's going to open your eyes, and most importantly, it's going to open your third psychic mama. It's going to open your third psychic eye, which means that this disagreement is ever so needed, because you are something is going to come out. Something is going to come out when it comes to this disagreement. It's like, oh my God, some kind of information, it's going to come out. Some kind of secret, it's going to come out. This is going to be invaluable at this stage of your life, because that information and that secret is going to be the last little drop which is going to make that glass overflowing. And once that happens, you know you're going to start feeling the flow of life again. Almost instantly, this is going to bring the truth and the clarity into your life. But exactly when it comes to what do you want to do, what do you need to do, but also at the same time it's bringing such a wonderful balance into your life. It's like, oh my God, you know, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant, because like about a couple of days after that moment in time, you are really kind of going to be needed to go somewhere like really urgently. You're going to need it to go somewhere really urgently in order to do something very, very personal. And when it happens, like when you become aware of like where do you need to go urgently in order to deal with something really personal, trust me, it's nothing too scary, it's nothing horrible, it's not going to be a dark lala moment, but suddenly you're just going to need to go somewhere to deal with something urgently, nothing too major whatsoever. But this is only your sign and indication that on your way back, something is going to happen to you on your way back when you go to deal with this. Something is going to happen to you. First of all, you're going to see someone really weird, someone really unusual. Someone is going to be having a very unusual clothes or an unusual hair, and it's going to remind you of some kind of completely different time, completely different dimension. It's going to be a bit of like and then this is going to be a sign, and you're going to see like someone like almost like a jest, like from a completely different time, like the 17th century, the 16th century, the 15th century, the 14th century. I'm not too sure exactly what century you're gonna come across, baby, but this is gonna be a sign that, you know, this is gonna be a sign that very soon after that moment in time, and this is on your way back from that situation, very soon after that moment in time, you are really going to have such an interesting realization, and you're gonna become aware of like even more like kind of even more of unlimited possibilities with that particular thing that your week started with. There is more that you're going to find out, and now suddenly you're gonna start seeing this this as a beginning of some kind of adventure. And this is so important because it's going to put you in the right frame of mind. It's going to put you in the right frame of mind because now you're going to be ready for action, and this is what you needed. I know it sounds really confusing how this is going to happen, but you're going to be able to notice how your intuition, it's also going to shut up like there is no tomorrow. And this is also going to come as such a kind of like a really wonderful thing at the time where you are dealing with some kind of changes that are going to be absolutely imminent for you to make. And it's also going to be as impossible for you to not to do anything about. You are going to find yourself start to become like very much so bored and maybe a little bit irritated with things around you. And this is absolutely normal. And you're going to notice the certain changes around you that you kind of realized before, but you didn't pay attention to. And you know what? You're not going to like the certain changes that you've realized around you. And this is also like kind of going to give you food for thoughts, how maybe you have found yourself in the wrong place, maybe how certain things have changed, and how you are very kind of closely getting to the point where you are you're gonna really want to move on with your life. And this in itself is gonna reconnect you to your ultimate dream. You're gonna start falling, things are gonna start falling into places, but then again, this is all gonna lead towards you kind of reconnecting with yourself and reconnecting with an ultimate dream of yours. Like the weirdest out of the weirdest of you, it's about to come out. And I mean this in the best possible way. Maybe you wanted to live by yourself in the forest. Hello, that's me. Maybe you wanted to live somewhere on top of the mountain. Maybe you wanted to live somewhere at the beginning of the mountain. Maybe you wanted to live in some kind of a boat somewhere. Maybe you wanted to live in like a completely unconventional way. Whatever the dream of yours was, from a long time ago, this is gonna be something that you're gonna be completely pushed towards it, and you're gonna start dreaming about it. You're gonna start thinking about it. You're gonna start like really kind of like getting so close to that particular dream, and this is a great sign. You know what that means? That means that you should definitely do this, but it also means that karmically you've been helping to someone so much. And I've seen this before. It looks like you were somebody else's lifeline for such a long time. You helped to someone on their spiritual journey to the point where you've probably saved their life. You didn't even know it. So now the karma mama is stepping in again, and it's about to reward you. And the karma mama is about to reward you now, this time with your ultimate dream, which is about to start becoming your reality. But you need to be strong. You need to be strong because this is gonna like really surprise you, like, oh my God. But again, at the same time, it's going to make you aware of what do you need to pose with at the moment, what do you need to surrender to, what do you need to let go of at this stage of your life. And also this is bringing a new perspective, because now you are really gonna start seeing things in a completely different light than before. And this is because all this is bringing a powerful insight into your life. It's to do with a change. It's to do with what you need to release. But most importantly, it's also to do, again, some kind of sacrifice. Something is standing on your way. Something is standing on your way, and something is like really pretty much so restricting you. Something is preventing you to move on. So this in itself, it's also going to reflect on your organizational skills, my gorgeous Capricornians, and it's also on your reliability, okay, but also at the same time, the ability to work hard. All this is actually going to be highlighted indeed, so much in the best possible way. And this is absolutely brilliant, okay, very important indeed. And also, let me tell you, like, when someone is really gonna try to wind you up also at the beginning of this week, nothing to do with that disagreement that I said before. therefore, forget about the first initial disagreement, yeah? Because it's nothing to do with this, but there is someone who is like very close to you, someone who is like a family member or like a really great friend, somebody who's like really weird at times, somebody who is strange at times, and somebody who very often is going through very difficult things, somebody who's very emotional, and somebody who sometimes needs like a little bit of help in their lives, especially when it comes to the advice. I'm not saying this person is horrible or whatsoever. I'm just trying to help you to recognize who this person is, my gorgeous Capricornians, because that person is going to wind you up a little bit, you know, like maybe like a naughty family member or a friend who goes like a weird every now and then. Do you know what I mean? But that person is going to do something and it's really going to wind you up. Listen to me very carefully. You must remember this, to keep your temper, and to keep your temper. That person is going through something super weird, super bizarre, super strange, and you must not take this personal whatsoever. But what you need to understand on top of that, my gorgeous Capricornians, that you're gonna realize as soon as you kind of keep your temper, you're gonna realize, you know what, that it's time to wake up. Something is going to wake you up. I know it sounds really weird, but you keep your temper as a reward for that. Shortly after that moment in time, you are going to have such a wake up moment, like, oh my God. And that wake up moment, it's also going to make you realize for some reason that this is your moment now. And again, it's just all about the time span, and I'm helping you to try to understand where this is actually going to happen. This is going to lead towards you waking up as a reward because you kept your temper, but at the same time you're going to realize that now you're entering a very special stage in your life when it comes to your moment. This is so important. You're going to realize it's time to shine, it's time to bloom, it's time to come out of yourself, it's time to come out of your comfort zone. And if you responded in that particular situation differently, no baby, no, none of this would happen. You see, it's like, this is why this is going to be connected to your own unique spiritual intelligence, which is going to reveal the path for you at the time when you least expect it. And this path is pretty much so going to shake you up a little bit and make you aware of the fact that now it's time, now it's your moment is coming up. It's to do with the spiritual domino yet again. One thing is going to lead to another, although this thing don't even seem to like be connected in any way, shape or form whatsoever. By the time you get to the mid part of this week, you are really gonna be so excited. It's like, oh my God, it's about the news that you're actually going to have. It's about this information which is really gonna make you feel so happy, because it's to do with something that you've been struggling with for the last 3 months, like full on. You will feel like you want to party, you will feel like you want to celebrate, because you are gonna feel so happy. But again, at the same time, this is also going to reflect quite a lot on you and the actual relationship you have with people. For some reason, you're going to realize that, you need to kind of reconnect with a certain people in your life, and there are a couple of people that are going to be highlighted here. As soon as you're thinking in terms of celebration or party, there are a couple of people that are going to be on your mind immediately. Those people are the people that you need to get in touch with, because it's like there is a lot more going to come out of them. They are playing a very special role on your spiritual journey, and with both of those people you have kind of lost the connection and touch a little bit lately. So much for you to unpack here. But also, it's not only about that. As soon as you become aware of this like kind of news and message, that you're gonna feel so happy and you will want to celebrate because you've been struggling with this for the last 3 months. This is also going to pretty much so gonna bring such an interesting like kind of new idea to your life, and this new idea is something which is going to lead towards your own breakthrough in as little as 1 month's time. Already you are going to kind of have the outcome of this already, and the clarity, both spiritual and the mental clarity. You need to understand this new idea that you are going to have. Trust me, the word breakthrough, it's something that you must not forget whatsoever. I know I spoke about it so much, but this is going to be something different. This is going to be something very special, and it's going to make a huge impact on your life. life. It's to do with a new idea, which is ultimately going to bring a success into your life, but it's also going to really pretty much so, this is the beginning of, pretty much so, you're going to realize that you were resisting change for a while. And just as soon as you realize that you were resisting change for a while, you will know why. And as soon as you realize this, you're also going to break cycle, my gorgeous Capricornius, especially when it comes to like you coming out of a negative phase. Even more so, this is actually going to lead towards a sudden change, which is not going to bring a chaos into your life. It's actually going to bring you revelation, an important revelation, which is going to show you what do you need to release, because you are going to end up having a sudden insight, which is going to be absolutely brilliant indeed. Okay. And also, my gorgeous Capricornians, you know, there is something that you're actually going to discover at around the midweek. And you know what? You're actually going to become very curious about something. There is something that you're going to discover, something that you're going to hear, something that you're going to become aware of. And you're going to become so curious about it, and more curious about it, and more curious about it. And that in itself, it's really kind of going to lead your way, your own curiosity, and that in itself, it's going to show you two things. It's going to show you how much you've actually changed in such a short period of time. You've changed really quickly, and this is brilliant. This is always good. And it's also, number two, it's going to show you the right way, okay? Especially when it comes to learning to create something that you desire. It's like, oh my God, so much for you this week, my gorgeous Capricornius, and it's gonna be brilliant. By the time you get to the last part of this week, you know, when it comes to the last part of this week, yes, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, you are going to really kind of have an unexpected delay. Something something is going to be delayed here, an unexpected delay, and this is to do with an obstacle to long-term goal. Now you must not let this put you off, because this is a lot to do with like some kind of like a maybe finances and the financial loss, for example, which is immediately going to put you in a mode where you're going to need to reevaluate certain things in your life. And you're going to realize as well, like if you don't reevaluate certain things in your life right now, you are going to be disconnected. And you can't allow yourself to be disconnected. So the only way to deal with this is to follow things that make you feel good, follow things that makes you feel happy, follow things that make you feel creative, and most importantly, follow your heart. Follow your heart. By following your heart, you are only a couple of days later, you are really kind of going to only a couple of days later, you are gonna really stumble upon a very interesting part of your life where you are gonna start realizing the bigger picture, and you're gonna realize that you overcame some kind of a challenge, and this is gonna be absolutely everything, because it's going to lead towards an emotional stability. And once you become emotionally stable, before the end of the week, you will know exactly which steps do you need to make. This is so important, my gorgeous Capricornians, because it's going to be literally life-changing. Okay, my gorgeous Capricornians, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, Psychic Medium. Love you. Bye.